Hey guys, Marshall Kirby from Orchard Hill Farm Equipment, and today we're going to go over if you should buy an NX Kioti tractor or an NS and their differences. So the NS is a newer series that Kioti came out with a handful of years ago, while the NX series has been out since around 2013. And there's a lot of commentary going on the internet on which one is the one to buy, and some rumors spread that Kioti may be eliminating one of these from the lineup. So we're going to go over those things today, their differences, and maybe some more thought process on which one of these might be the best tractor for you guys. So the NS and the NX series are two completely different tractors while also sharing a lot of the same stuff. So they both offer a tractor in the 45 up to 60 horsepower range. So you're going to find them being the same size tires, and in a similar lift capacity, speculation, and all those types of things. But the main difference is there's a lot less electronics on the NS series, and there's a few other differences as well we're going to point out in this video. This is an NS6010, but could also be a 47. They have no size difference. And then this is an NX4510 that is a handful of years old, in for a service today. So we're kind of figured this is what better time than to do a quick little video comparing these two side by side. They both offer a 72-inch skid steer quick attach front bucket with an optional bolt-on cutting edge. They both have a very similar lift height. Mind you, the ground is not perfectly level, so it does look like one is higher than the other right now. We are talking within 1 to 2 inches of each other as far as full lift height goes on the KL5810 loader on the NS, as opposed to the KL6010 loader on the NX. You're going to notice their hood styling is almost nearly identical. The grill guard and the hood, both having metal hoods, and they are the same engine. So engine-wise, they are the same motor, 3-cylinder, turbocharged Dadong Kioti diesels in both of these tractors. So the powerhouse motor is the same behind both these machines. The lift capacity on the loaders is also within about 100 pounds of each other. So as far as those first couple specs, engine horsepower, the styling, the hood, the tire size, and the loaders, it's not much difference. But let's dive in. Let's check out the front axles next. So up front here, this is an NX4510 front axle. You're going to notice it's much smaller on this front axle than the NS that we're going to go check out in a minute. So this is the system that they had used, front axle design that they had used with power steering in the front on the NX series, and still do to this day. We'll go over to the NS over here, and the NS is a very, very much thicker front axle. So definitely a heavier duty, and the piston setup and the tie rod setup on the front is much heavier, which ultimately for heavy lifting is a good thing. I'll be honest, the NX4510, we did not really see many issues with that front axle design. They actually used it on the DK series as well, but I will say this front axle is definitely beefier and will take substantially more abuse, in my opinion, just based off of the sizing and how well it looks to be built. The internals of the cab are nearly identical in both tractors. All right. We are going to point something out though. This one is fresh, off the lineup, brand new, so going to look super clean in here. And you're going to notice, you have a flat floorboard in here, no hump in the middle, rubber floor mat, tilt steering wheel, nice internal cab mirrors, side mirrors, front lights, rear defrosted window, pop out side windows. All your controls are over on the side for your loader and for your rear remotes and throttle. Side-by-side HST pedals. And let's take a look at the instrument panel up on the far back corner there, and then let's go check it out on the NX. So that's the instrument panel, a bunch of buttons that are empty, right? So only 3 buttons in there, and then a bunch of empty buttons. Now let's take a peek at the NX's buttons. Let's go up and around. So as you're going to see, the NX has a lot more buttons going on, and that's our main difference. Oh, there's me honking the horn. But they have a lot of differences. So on the NX, main difference is going to be all of these electronics. The NX is a much more electronic-based tractor. It has a lot of electronic features, which are good and do work great and are nice advantages, but they can be disadvantages for the folks that do not like their electronics, which oftentimes are tractor customers. So your HST transmission has sensors inside of the transmission and on the pedals to tell it how fast you're pressing the pedal, how hard you're pressing the pedal. Some people will call those potentiometers. There's different names for them, but essentially to sense how hard you're pressing forward and reverse. This is some sensitivity adjustment for how hard you're pressing forward and reverse to how reactive those pedals are, so you're able to adjust that. This has a no stall function, which is going to mean in an HST transmission, if you turn on no stall and you're going into a pile of dirt and it starts to die down or throttle it down because it's a lot of weight or something, it will in turn realize that and throttle itself up a little bit, which is good. But again, one more electronic feature. Regen's the same. There's a calibration on the HST that you can adjust. Cruise control, and then the other feature is called linked pedal, which yeah, there it is right there, linked pedal. That is an electronics setup that goes to the forward and reverse that connects the throttle to the forward and reverse. Now, linked pedal is an electronic feature on this, but a mechanical feature on the NS that can be added. So if you are the customer that likes the link pedal or the cruise control, there are mechanical add-on options for the NS series tractors. But as far as changing your transmission to have sensors inside the transmission and to sense your foot driving forward and reverse, that is not an option. There's no adjustment for the forward and reverse as far as sensors go on the NS, because that is simply a direct HST transmission on the NS. I would call it a mechanical HST transmission. Forward and reverse pedals go into the side of the transmission or hydraulic pump, sending flow one way or the other way, and that is pretty cut and dry, pretty simple. So for you old school folks that like a new tractor with less electronics, the NS is probably for you. If you want all the new gadgets and whatnot, then the NX might be more for you. I will be honest, since the NS has come out, it has taken the NX sales away drastically. We still sell an occasional NX, but the majority of our customers are finding that the NS is their, prize pick. And as far as, the tractors go, because they really are made to do the same thing. But I do feel that in the long run, the NS will have less electronics, which leads to less issues. And yeah, let's face it, tractors go in the woods, they go in dirt, they go in snow, and electronics don't really mix the greatest with those things. So the internal cab is similar. We'll talk about the rear axles next. So coming over here to the rear axles on these the 3-point hitch area, you're going to notice that these got the extendable arms. They got adjustable side link, telescopic side turnbuckles, or whatever you want to call them, on the side there. Full size drawbar, which this customer doesn't have in right now. But one big difference is the external 3-point hitch lift cylinders. So they have moved away from that on the NS series. I feel it does save them a little bit of money. And I'll be honest, I don't really find a benefit to these. Maybe a slight more lifting capabilities, but I don't really find it to be that much of a difference to feel that these are needed back here. These are common on big ag tractors, 75, 80, 100 horsepower tractors. You're going to find external lift cylinders. So I guess it does give this tractor a little bit more of that thicker attitude, that bigger tractor feel, but I don't think it's needed in a 45 horsepower. I just don't. I think it's one more thing to go wrong. And some people say, well, yeah, it's inside the or external to the transmission, so you can work on it. That is also fair, but you still have the top 3-point hitch arms going into the upper section of that rear end. Let's look at the NS rear axle. See the difference there. Walk over here. And you'll see the rear end, right? It's kind of open right here, still a beefy rear end, but kind of open right there. So less going on, you know, goes inside the transmission. Still has 3-point hitch, extendable telescopic arms, telescopic side links, full-size Category 1 drawbar, single rear remote on both of these. You can add a second rear remote to both of these, and multi-cabin air filters. They have the same fender and the same cab framing and windows. So the size of the cab doesn't change in both of these, which is, again, another similarity between both of them. And people do definitely like the size of the cab in this tractor. This is going to compare closely to your 4R series John Deere's or a Grand L Kubota size frame tractor, and definitely, you know, be a much cheaper price point and a lot of quality built in these machines. So I hope those main differences showed you some of the similarities and differences, I should say, between these two tractors. I think that, you know, based off this video, to help you make a little bit better educated decision as far as purchasing goes and what to look at, maybe what to look out for in the tractor world. Some of you might not like electronics, some of you might want to stay away from it, and some of you might want those features. And it gives you something to stew on, something to think about. But at the end of the day, both these tractors are going to do the same job. The NX has been rumored to be going away. We have not gotten confirmation on that from Kioti. I'm sure many people have asked Kioti, and I don't believe they have given that confirmation. My guesstimate is they are still going to produce these NXs for at least another couple years. Again, don't take my word for it. They could stop tomorrow. They could make them for another 5 to 10 years. There is really no word of what's going on, other than they said they have told us the plan is not to get rid of the NX right now. So this NX is going to continue to be sold, continue to be an option. They may slow down production on it as they slowly move further and further into this NS. And mind you, this NS has been out for a couple years, and the NX has been out for, you know, again, since 2013. So they've both been out for a long time. And some of the parts, the rear end in this tractor and the front axle in the NS, is also proven. So although this is proven for a longer time, right, to what we think now, the front axle and the rear axle in the NS is from their old DKSE series, which was one of my favorite tractors Kioti ever manufactured back in the 2007 to like 2012 era. So those were bulletproof rear axles and front axles, and they brought it back to this tractor. So we definitely are liking that. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. So no, the NX isn't going away, and what would be my pick? I think I'd lean towards the NS personally, just because I'm a fan of less electronics and you're going to achieve the same workload. But you guys make your decision. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. We'll catch you on the next one. Thanks, guys.